What's going on, YouTube family? What is if I were to tell you that in less than 12 months from now, the government is going to have the ability to shut off your car anytime you want, and there's nothing you can do about it? Now, I know this idea seems kind of far-fetched, that it'll never happen in some dystopian future, but it's actually coming down the pipeline, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. So I had to pull out my laptop to make sure that I get all the facts correctly. Now, we've been talking about how a lot of people are not buying brand new cars because of some of the issues they're having. They feel like they're being watched. New cars have subscriptions, so if you want all the features, you have to pay a monthly feature. Some new cars are coming with options where you'll never even own them. You're just paying like a monthly subscription. So it's that famous saying, you'll own nothing and be happy. But let's talk about what brought you to the video today. Section 24220 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Now, what does cars have to do with this? Well, NHTSA, which is the National Highway Safety Board, decided to throw this in. They wanted to make a car disabling method device put into all brand new vehicles starting in 2027. Now, this does seem like a good idea on the outside. This will detect if the driver is impaired or intoxicated and shut the vehicle down. Now, in theory, like I said, this does sound like a good thing. It may save a lot of lives. But at the same point, is it a person that's looking at this? Is it a trained police officer? No, it's AI. Now, if anybody's ever worked with AI, especially in today's market, it is not 100%. And I want you to think about it in a math-wise segment. Now, they're saying that it's 99% effective as of today. So how many people are in the United States? 385 million? So let's just take half of that. 170 million people are out driving on the roads as of today. Now, think about it. What does your daily commute consist of? You drive to work, maybe you drive to pick up your kids, then go to work, you drive to lunch, then you drive to leave work to go pick up your kids from school, drive home, maybe drive out to get dinner a little bit later. So millions of Americans are taking multiple trips every single day. So now that 170 million number, doubles because of these trips. So just think about this, 99% effective. So we're leaving hundreds of millions of negative hits basically popped up. Now, what happens when you get a negative hit? The car shuts you down, the AI thinks you're intoxicated, but you're perfectly fine. Now you're stuck on the side of the road with nothing to do. What is the protocol? Do they, let you call in to reassess yourself? Do you get to do some maybe hand and eye movements to let the AI know you're not intoxicated? Or do you have to wait for the police to show up to basically arrest you and take a look and see what you're doing? These are some of the things that just make no sense to me when I see these things implemented. On top of that, what looks like you're impaired? Maybe when you're sleeping, a lot of people with different medical conditions, if you have any type of neurological disorder or something else like that, you can mimic the symptoms of being intoxicated. So now your brand new car is going to keep shutting you down. Now think about it this way. Every time you get shut down, I'm sure there's a counter meter that they're sharing with not only the police, but also with your insurance company. So now if you get a bunch of false negatives because maybe you have a medical condition or you just drive home late every day because you're tired, now your insurance company is saying, hey, you're a really big risk because you got shut down, 30 times in 6 months. We're going to have to double your insurance premium. It's not fair, but they have the data to back it up. Same thing, if you have to wait for police, can you imagine seeing the same cop almost every single night because you're tired and you're driving home and you have to wait for him to actually see that you're not intoxicated for the car to turn it back on? These are some of the things that really worry me. Now, it's going to start with this, and this is the one thing that I'm really scared of. They're going to say it's because you're intoxicated or because of whatever. Now, what is it going to do? It's going to watch your eye movement. If you're sending a text message, is it going to send it to the police and send you a ticket? If you don't have both hands on the steering wheel and you're looking kind of around, is that another thing to detect to basically count against your driver's score? All these things, like I said, they're using it to gather data to basically use against you in some way, in some form. Now, you guys may not remember this, but back in the day, Chevy had this thing where if you paid a little bit extra money, you could get the Wi-Fi turned on in your car, and a lot of people did this. But the thing they didn't realize is with them paying that subscription gave GM the data it needed to sell to other people. Like, oh, this car drives by this pizza store every single day. Would you like to advertise to this driver? Oh, this is a 5-person minivan. It's full of kids. Would you like to get coupons or information on where they go, like their favorite stores to shop, so we can send you that information so you can basically shop directly to them or market to them? These were some of the things that really upset people because now not only is your car receiving data, it's sending it back to a third party so they can analyze exactly what you're doing and your driving habits. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this particular thing, is once they learn your driving habits, I'm telling you, everybody's insurance is going to absolutely skyrocket. Every time you speed, every time you do something, there's going to be some sort of ability to either give you a bad mark or they may just turn you into the police, because from this basically thing that I'm seeing right now, there's nothing persuading them from not sharing the information with law enforcement, because they think they're doing the right thing by taking people off the streets that are intoxicated. Now, like I said, in theory, this seems like a great idea because nobody wants a drunk driver on the road. And I know a lot of people lost friends and family members to this. But at the same point, it's just like that saying, you never want too many eyeballs on you. You don't want total over government reach. And every time we get some sort of new form of technology, the government is so excited to basically put their hands in there and like, see, how can I control this? How can I take more money out of the driver's pockets? How do I focus more of this information that will benefit myself and not the actual consumer? And that's where we're at today. So don't be surprised that if a lot of new car manufacturers start bragging that they don't have this feature in their car, or if a lot of people stick with used cars. Because think about it, every time you want to go out for a night out, or you're driving, or you have a long drive, are you going to take your brand new car that may possibly shut down because you're getting tired during the drive, or may not like the way you're moving around and thinks you're intoxicated? Or are you going to take your old trusty 2002 Toyota Corolla with 500,000 miles and drive it across the country because you know that car will not shut off, it will not die, and more than likely it'll get better gas mileage? So these are some of the things that I think they're going to have a big problem with moving forward. Now, to hop on the other bandwagon of subscriptions. Now, everybody knew that when BMW came out with their heated seat subscription, it literally set the internet on fire. People were losing their minds. I paid for this car. Why would I have these types of features not like basically turned on right away? So people are coming out with ways to unlock that system, how to turn on their heated seats without a subscription. BMW walked back everything and basically turned on all the seats. But quietly behind the scenes, all these other manufacturers are starting to hit you guys with subscriptions. If you buy a brand new, let's say GMC truck, there are subscriptions where if you want to use your remote start, now you have to pay a monthly subscription. If you want to see your fuel level, your miles, other things like that, and you want access to your vehicle 24/7, you have to actually pay for it. When I bought my Audi R8, which was a $200,000 car, I had that app for 100% for free. I could see where my car is parked. I could roll down the windows. I can check the miles. I can check the fuel. I can check if there's any check engine lights. All that stuff was right there on my app, and it was very helpful, and I loved it. But it became free with the car. Now, if you want these options, they're going to try to figure out how to charge you. Another thing that kind of scared me is a lot of these automotive companies are starting to use the same verbiage as tech companies. Before, you were a customer because you bought a product and you left. That was it. You own it. It is your car. You're the customer. Now they're starting to use terminologies like user. User is somebody like that uses the internet, that pays a monthly subscription, like Netflix. They count their users. They don't count customers. And so little by little, they're looking at us saying that they have over a $2 billion monthly revenue stream lying right in front of them that they're trying to figure out how to capitalize on. Now, I know there's nothing wrong. Every company needs to make more money. But when you start charging money for features that already exist, that is absolutely stupid and ridiculous. And I know these manufacturers, sometimes turn into YouTube and want to see what people are thinking. If you guys are watching and you do this shit, people are going to be so pissed off. If I spent a bunch of money on a really nice GMC truck and it has remote start on the fob, but if I want to use it in my app, I got to pay you $25 a month, that is stupid. I mean, at least make it cheap. Hey, it's $5 a month. And if you pay for the whole year, I think you can kind of get away with that if you add some extra features. GM is one of the first places where if they're taking out Apple CarPlay because of safety, and if you want it, you have to pay a subscription for that as well. There's other ones where if you want updated maps for navigation, you have to pay a subscription. If you want to find out what your service intervals are, pay a subscription. Everybody was so happy when Tesla came out because they were not like a dealer. They were doing all this great stuff, but Tesla is now starting to charge for all their extra things. Like if you want autopilot, some other things, even though it's built into the car, you have to pay extra for it. Manufacturers are jumping on this bandwagon. Ford with their Blue Oval, they give you a free 90-day test drive where you can get their automated driving system and you can check out all the bells and whistles, and your car has all these features built into it. But the second that subscription's over, now you got to pay, I don't know, don't quote me at this, but I don't know if it's $150 a quarter or if it's like $60 a month, but it's pretty high. So now if you want this automated driving, you have to pay extra for it, even though you paid for all the mechanical items in your car that's already there. So don't be surprised that over the next few years, manufacturers are trying to do whatever they can to figure out how they can subscription you to death. Now, I've made a bunch of videos about this before in the past, but now they don't care. They're just putting it flat out right. Every time I made these videos, people got pissed off. They clapped back. and they'd always walk it back. But this is the first year where they haven't. They literally told all the GM people, if you don't want Apple CarPlay, go buy another car. But you're probably going to buy a GM, so now you're going to have to pay that subscription to get Apple CarPlay. But don't be surprised, like I said, little by little, you're going to start to see some of these cars roll out with subscription models. We've talked about it before on the channel. I know a lot of the robocars, robotaxis from Tesla, they might be piloting a system like that, but I think that pretty soon they're going to be offering cheap, affordable electric cars on a subscription model where you can pay monthly, you can have access to a car, and little by little, if you don't want to use it, you can just go ahead and cancel your thing or maybe use it to a lower amount. Or they have this like crowd sharing thing where you pay a monthly subscription and there's just cars kind of scattered all over the city, almost like those bird scooters were back in the day. You pay that monthly subscription, you walk out of the restaurant, maybe you don't feel like walking all the way home, you're tired. If there's one of those cars there, you can just hop in it, drive it home, park it out front, and just walk away and just leave the car there for the next driver. But let me know what your thoughts are as far as this new thing that's coming out. Are you worried about them actually spying on you instead of shutting down your car? Also, what would you do if you were driving and you're stuck with your family in the middle of nowhere and your car shuts off? You know, I'd love to know your guys' opinion in the comment section below. Also, let me know, what do you guys think of subscriptions? Do you think that this is just another money grab, or is everybody following that model to basically get people on that hamster wheel of constantly paying them money every single month? But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next video.